Talk to me about AI being a driver of productivity and efficiency. How is AI changing the landscape?
Yeah, but the biggest thing I think is just how it shapes the dialogue within the industry. Because now you have folks that maybe haven't made a change. They might be running on the same system they've been using for 10, 15, 20 years, whether it's an allocator, a family office, an institution. And they're like, holy cow, this world really is changing under our feet. There are new tools, there's new technology, there's new methodologies, there's new ways to interact with this information and we don't want to get left behind. We were talking to an asset manager, this was about a month ago now, and they were like, we've looked at dozens of tools. Everyone's talking about AI. This is the first time when they like saw a demo of March, we've actually seen AI in a platform in a way that's like usable to the end client. So we're looking to be on the front and cutting edge of leveraging AI and helping our clients leverage AI. So you don't have to be an AI expert. You don't have to do your own development, but we can give you like really simple, well-designed tools that allow you to understand what's in a quarterly report or what's in a LPA or what's in any of these documents that have like a lot of text, but you're really looking for the insight. So what's the manager telling me or what do I need to know about this investment I'm about to make? And that I think is a big part of our story. And it's like something that wasn't available 3 to 5 years ago when we started the company, but something that can like be leveraged on top of the foundation of how we collect information and aggregate information today. And then it's just like the display out or the usability of this information. So we think it has a big ability to push this industry along with a lot of other industries forward by introducing new tools, but especially changing the mindset around innovation and taking organizations that might be slower to purchase to realize that like, okay, now is a great time to think about the new solutions and unlock this new buying wave.
I mean, I totally agree. I think there's an element of like the vertical integration of AI where there are some really specific nuances and complexities of like the industry that we work in. And we can be experts in that. So our clients don't have to be. I think like consumer adoption of AI has actually been quite strong. Um, right at the beginning of this year, talking about, we were at a conference earlier this week. I think every single panel talked about AI in some way or some form. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is
there's like 25 or 30 panels on AI at Future Proof. Is that?
truly, I think every single panel, no matter what the topic was, had some underlying theme of AI. I think that it's sometimes difficult to use it in the most relevant or applicable way. And so what we're really taking on as like a technology firm is thinking about how do we apply this to the most relevant use cases. I think what Ryan was talking about, unstructured data, making it structured and pulling out insights is a great example. There's other ways that it can continue to create more efficiencies and um, increase like our ability to provide more solutions to our clients. But I think there is an element of like vertical integration that is important, that like we are a very nuanced part of the industry. And so it's hard to just slap AI in there and be like, figure out all my problems. I think you have to think about the actual integration of it into a system.
AI, do we see AI as being something that is going to be that kind of gets family offices off the snide? Is that this is going to cause the modernization of family office that people have been talking about forever because they see this kind of 10x or maybe inefficiency on technology or maybe fear of being left behind. Where do you see the industry and the impact AI is going to have?
Yeah, I think it would definitely help. Probably like partially because of the tools, and then partially because we were talking about it earlier around just like giving people the headspace to look at new tools and evaluate new frameworks and really think about AI and think about modern tools. But I think that there's just this broader push. Like there are now way more family offices than there used to be. Alternative investments are a bigger theme. You have this broader wealth transfer that people are talking about where family offices are being passed to younger and younger members who are a little bit more tech native. And so I think you're just like naturally going to have interesting solutions come to market. So I think there's going to be more talk about this like virtual family office style model. But then you also have the like proliferation of multifamily offices, sometimes called RAAs, sometimes called OCIOs, that are also allowing families to essentially have a lot of the family office resources and know-how without having to staff it internally. And those are getting to be pretty sophisticated. Sometimes they have wealth planning internal. They have like CIOs that are able to invest capital across pretty sophisticated alternative and non-alternative investments. So the menu of options available just like is much bigger than it used to be. the tools are greater than they used to be. So I think you're going to see a lot happen as how that's in this space evolving in the next 3, 5, 10 years.
Yeah, it's the golden age for family office technology. The good news is there's more options, but the bad news is there's more options, right?
More options. Yeah.
There's a bit of buyer confusion out there, right? And I think sometimes people get stuck about not even knowing what to do next because they're a little bit overwhelmed. But what other tech trends are you seeing that are impacting the space beyond AI?
Good question. I think there's a lot of pain around things like capital calls. So as there's more capital calls, and as like, and then some of this is actually like AI driven. There are now really good ways to impersonate people. Most the like folks that have family offices, people that work in this industry have some kind of public profile, and so it's like pretty easy to take someone's voice, take their likeness, create a video that looks like them, create a call that sounds like them. So I think we're just going to see fraud get more and more sophisticated. So we're starting to invest in some fraud detection tools for capital calls that can look at, do these wire instructions match your prior wire instruction? So that's the first thing that we've commercialized and brought to market. So looking at how do we move beyond saving people time, which we want to continue to save folks more and more time, but like bringing solutions that fight fraud, lead to insights, help people make better investment decisions. So that, because like getting left behind doesn't just mean I'm less efficient or allocating capital less efficient. Getting left behind might mean that I'm like now a target.
I think there's also just a lot around like workflows and integrated solutions. There's kind of maybe two things driving this. One is there's a lot of merger and acquisition activity in the MFORA space. And so as you bring together firms, you have to really think about how workflows are impacting the ability to do business as a combined firm. I think that's been a theme we've been seeing of when firms combine or they buy another firm, integrating that into the existing systems and workflows is challenging. And so using technology to support those component parts is helpful. I also think for family offices, they tend to operate really lean, and there's many different folks that need to be involved in different parts of the process. So thinking about workflows that evolves over time. If you bring on new technology, you have new workflows that need to be built. And so I think there's elements of like integrated and workflow solutions that are important too.
Sure.
Workflows, integrations, APIs. I think vendors are putting much more emphasis on their ecosystems, right? That 1+1=3. The best of breed is finally moved beyond kind of a science experiment, and it's really with the vendors coordinating with each other. It's a lot more possible for firms to be able to kind of piece together a best of breed tech stack. I think that's been helpful. I hope the family offices that they realize that there's sometimes a greater risk to not taking action, right? That the fact that Ryan, you point opening yourself up to fraud, and don't let some event cause you to get into a buyer's mode or have to do that under duress. And